first I have the cup. Well, first, this, because all you guys really want to know. I'm sure all you guys really want to know. Hello there, Watch Life. You really want to know just how. Hello from Germany. I drink my water. And if there's truly method to the madness. Good morning, RJ. And yes, there is. Good morning, Tommy John. Method to my madness. This is a venti cup from Starbucks, which I order every time I go, filled with delicious Starbucks ice water. Sometimes I'll bring it home with water, sometimes I won't. Honestly, it's a little more challenging as I ride my scooter bringing home cups of water. But either way, I do what I have to do. And oftentimes I'll finish it, sometimes I won't. The strategy I like to use is putting the leftover water in the freezer. And because I don't like really using ice trays a whole heck of a lot, especially staying at an extended stay. I don't want to use somebody else's ice trays for sure. But either way, I got a nice block of cold ice at the bottom, and I fill it up. But the reason, and you guys probably really want to know why I have this cup, which I set it in, is because a lot of times during the freezing process, the shape, the form of the liquid will change, and it will push out the bottom of the cup. And look, it's like a Weeble now. It doesn't stay because the bottom of the cup is no longer flat. Therefore, determined to continue my process, I've devised a system where I can put the cup inside another cup. Yes, I realize this isn't a perfectly shaped cup because the little cup I have here at an extended stay is too small. But it still does the trick. And look, watch that. It's like magic. It's like magic. It holds the water up nice and straight. Allowing me to take a big chug of ice cold water in front of you at this time on this morning. I think RJ was concerned about my bath situation. Why, yes, I found hello, Will Bill Chill. I found a solution to my bath situation. I'm in an extended stay in Naperville, Illinois. We will get to maybe what brought me here later this morning. But first of all, let me get you to the meat of the matter. Because I'm staying in an extended stay, and because this extended stay has a bathtub, and because I've been traveling across the country for the last 3 months, staying in various spots, using various communal bathrooms, the concept, and what have you, this room has a bathtub. I'm a man that loves a good hot bath. However, I realized a problem upon checking in, that there was no stopper for my bathtub. Imagine that. I'm so close to the finish line, so close to being able to soak in nice hot water. Love a good bath. And but so far, because I didn't have a stopper for the tub. Oh yeah, I considered many options. I have little round soaps that would almost plug the hole perfectly. I've had various people suggest I actually use my big toe to stop the hot water, but I knew I couldn't be comfortable relaxing in a bathtub while focusing on stopping the water with my big toe. Come on. So what I did, as you'll be excited to know, is I took a bag. I bought one of those plastic bags you get at the grocery store. Crumpled it up and shoved it tightly into the hole. And let me tell you, it works perfectly. It works perfectly. My bath's nice and hot. There's no drippage. And I'm pretty proud of that. I am pretty proud of the solutions I have found on the road. Imagine if you're a first-time watcher, and this is what you see. You tune in, you go, hey, Coffee with Ken. There's alliteration to that. It's got a nice sound. It has a nice sound to it, a good ring. I've been looking something to do on Sunday mornings and every other morning at like 5:30 in the morning or 6 in the morning. The rest of the family's still sleeping. I'm tired of watching the news, and Good Morning America isn't the same. What would I do? Maybe I'll check into Coffee with Ken, see what this guy is all about. It's kind of funny. My new boss, I've been working at a new restaurant, super cool restaurant, super cool boss. Really nice young woman, very professional, very positive, very attention to detail. Discovered last night while I was working my 5th training shift that I'm fairly well known. More well known than I even thought, because my first 2 tables knew who I was, knew me. And I go, wow, that's gonna be awkward. I'm here training, trying to say hello. Welcome to my restaurant. Can I get you some, start you off with some drinks or whatever I say. And they go, hey. So just kind of for fun, I told my boss about my little show and where she could find me. Imagine if my boss tunes in this morning or is watching right now and going, what the heck did I do? I hired this guy who sits down, talks about bat stoppers, water creations, and that sort of stuff first thing on a Sunday morning. Excuse me. At least she'll know what she's dealing with. But anyway, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Sunday morning. It is August 11th. It is 6:12 a.m. Happy Sunday. It's a little show. Good morning, Chip. A little show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing some stories, sharing a little bit of the highs and lows that I certainly have. I assume other people have them. I think they do. I think most of those other people keep those highs and lows bottled up. And I won't say what bottling up all those feelings must do to you inside. It must tear you up. Because I've learned over the last 5 years that letting it go and letting you be you and letting your weirdness free is freeing. So here I am. But for those that have been watching a while, you know it is not just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, you know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And let me tell you, I am excited to have my first sip of coffee at this, fairly reasonably early hour on a Sunday morning for a guy that is waiting tables and working at night. And for all of you, because I've been out on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings are some of my favorite times of the week because they're quiet. And for those who've been watching a while, I have a beautiful dog named Holly. She's with my ex-wife currently as I reestablish myself into society after my stint in Yellowstone. And Holly and I, our favorite time of the week. Her favorite time was any time that I was taking her for a walk. But my favorite time to be taking her for a walk was on a Sunday morning when the streets in Naperville were quiet and there was almost no cars on the road and everybody sleeping in or Even if they're up, they're just kind of slowly moving about their homes. And I'd be out there, hot or cold, trudging through snow, sometimes viciously cold. I think last winter was amazingly mild. But we had a stint of like 3 days where it got to like 15 degrees below. And I'm not talking wind chill. I'm talking the real deal. Where it was like 15 degrees below. And I took Holly out for some abridged walks. And it was dangerously cold. I think one time I did it in these PJs. Yes, I bundled up. Yes, I had 2 coats on and a hat and gloves. But I think these PJs, I don't even know what that says. I think I wore these PJs out on that walk when it was 15 degrees. And let me tell you, it was pretty cold that day. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, as I said, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I am so excited to take my first sip. My hope is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of you. Cheers to us. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. No, it's not the Sumatra. No. I don't know. Maybe because I was working in Yellowstone. Over the last several months. I longed for pumpkin spice. And in the last couple weeks, people would send me pictures of my pumpkin spice packaging and say, hey, look what season it is. And I'd be out there working in Yellowstone. And drinking my cafeteria coffee day after day. And I was longing. I was missing so much about Naperville. I was missing so much about my friends, my family, Starbucks, all the niceties of buying your own groceries. And excuse me. I think I'm choking on something. But missed a lot of things about Naperville. And one of them was the variety of coffees I could choose. And specifically, pumpkin spice and pumpkin spice season. So I'm drinking the pumpkin spice by Starbucks today. I think, again, I bought a variety. I've talked about it before. I think Sumatra might be my favorite daily go-to coffee. It's dark. It's got a lot of flavor. It's delicious. But I'm really enjoying the pumpkin spice right now. Roger Leone asks, did I extend my time in the extended stay? Are you asking if I extended my stay at the extended stay? Why, yes, I did, Roger. I signed up for another week. Stay tuned. Signed up for another week. I've been enjoying it. I mean, enjoying it might be overstating it, but Again, I was living out in Yellowstone, living in a national park. I was talking to my brother about it yesterday, and I don't think people understand. I know my brother has no clue what I was talking about or what I was experiencing out in Yellowstone. Because here's what he said. He goes, oh, yeah, but if you were out there with your family and, everybody, and you could be golfing, you might like it a lot, right? You could go golfing because your family was there. I'm going, dude, do you know where I was at? I was in Yellowstone. There's no golf courses in Yellowstone. There's no families in Yellowstone. People don't live there. People visit there. And I just don't think most people understand. It was a great gig. I was given a dorm room. I had roommates. I had rotating roommates. I had work that was 5 minutes away. But beyond the housing and beyond the work, it was very hard for me and lonely feeling, and I missed my kids, and I missed my friends, and I missed my coffee, and I missed a ton of things. And yes, I had a beautiful backdrop, and yes, I'll tell you what, RJ's joking and said Yellowstone could be a driving range. I tell you what, the land out there would make a lot of good golf courses. I'm gonna lose, because I probably have an audience that appreciates national parks, because I posted a fair amount of videos about my experience in Yellowstone and the beauty it was, and the this and the that, and me driving through Lamar Valley and the buffalo, and I tell you, you could make a really nice golf course in a lot of the land in Yellowstone. Make it a golf resort. I don't know how far I want to take this joke. I was going to say a fishing resort. Then I was going to take it one step further. I don't want to really upset the animal activists out there, but yeah. Was a buffalo burger any different than a cow burger? It was a little different. It had a slightly different texture. Personally, I prefer a cow burger. I think it's fattier and juicier. So it's a little different. When they served us Bison Burger, please, if you're in Yellowstone, you call it a Bison Burger. It was thicker and, again, a little, I'm sure it was good for you, but it was a little leaner. And for those that are wondering, fat tastes good, and fat makes things taste good. And I found the juiciness of the beef burger I was eating better. And I did head-to-heads. Oh, I did. I was watching my girlish figure when I was in Yellowstone. Trying to stay in reasonably good shape, eating at a cafeteria every day. And would order, I wanted extra protein, and I would usually order whatever they were serving. But at the end of the cafeteria line, there was usually an option for a beef burger, and I would get a beef patty by itself just for the extra protein. And again, I did tests. I would go head-to-head. I was living in Yellowstone. I was bored and lonely. I would run tests on my food, and I would get a buffalo burger, and I would get, or a bison burger, and I would get a beef burger, and I'd compare them head-to-head. And I'll tell you what I learned. I will tell you what I learned. One of the perks to being in Yellowstone and eating in this cafeteria was an endless supply of a bunch of different stuff. And I found the guacamole they served at every meal was a delicious condiment for a whole variety of things. You know, you don't picture guacamole on ham and cheese sandwiches, but I did. You probably don't picture guacamole generally when you think of hamburgers, but I did. And I think it's a reasonably healthy and delicious tasting alternative to the condiments we use every day, like ketchup and mustard or mayonnaise or what have you. And it was good. The Kiwi saying he's hungry now. Now I wonder if the Kiwi is really in New Zealand. It's going to be a bad show. I was making my bed and I was giving extra attention. I won't show you because it could still be made better, but it's made fairly well. I mean, I'll show you what the heck. I'm not too proud. There's my bed. I was making my bed, and it's got a sheet, it's got a cover, and it's got kind of a nice soft top sheet. And I was making it and kind of laughing at my own attention to detail. And I started coughing. I think I got a little spit going down the windpipe or something. Still struggling with it in front of you. Did I ask for extra pillows? No, but I like extra pillows. I like extra pillows. My ex-wife was really good with the pillows. She was good at a lot of different things, and she was good at pillows, and I love extra pillows, but I believe I have 3, and they're really nice. They're surprisingly nice. They're just the right amount of soft and firm. Because if you get too soft of a pillow, and it's just like a feather pillow, it's just kind of mushy, and doesn't do a whole lot of good. And you need to stack several. But these pillows are nice. And one is enough to support your head. And then you have, I'm going to give you way too many intimate details. You have one that you can put between your knees if you sleep on your side, and one you can kind of cuddle like this. Makes me want to crawl back in bed. The Kiwi sleeps with 2 pillows. And Bear.Corn is from New Zealand. Again, we have a huge international audience tuning in today. I think it has something to do with the Olympics wrapping up. People from around the world are tuning in to shows and to sporting events from around the world. I did not watch much Olympics this season. The sports used to be a big part of my life, and watching the Olympics, especially the track and field, was always something I really looked forward to. I think a little bit because it's in Paris, which is 6 or 7 hours ahead of me. So a lot of the events that they would show on TV obviously weren't live. But a little bit, just because life got in the way, as it is a tendency to do. And Good Morning Carpentry by Andrew Green. And this particular last 2 weeks, which was right during the meat of the Olympics, I packed up in Yellowstone. I packed up my scooter. I packed up my room. I loaded the scooter up. I hopped on the scooter from Mammoth Hot Springs, Wyoming, and headed north into Montana, and then headed east across the country. Did a 4-day journey, seeing the country and visiting family when I got into Illinois, and finding a job and working hard when I got into Naperville. Chip said he didn't watch any Olympics. He's way more interested in what's going on in his life and taking care of his family. A little bit I've kind of come to realize that over the last bunch of years. You can spend your days, and I'm not, some people seem to have it all figured out and have a successful business they run and have a job that they go to at certain hours during the day and need sports as a distraction from life, I guess, and from the stresses of that. But if you're like me and Chip, apparently, you got stuff to deal with in life and stuff to take care of in life and stuff you're working towards in life. And life, and I mean this in the best possible way, is a distraction enough on its own. And I think if you keep your eyes open and are working towards something and have, I don't know, goals of self-improvement or feeling better or jumping over your own hurdles, people, high-paid athletes jumping over hurdles on a track don't seem as interesting. RJ wants to know, and he needs to know, is it hard to park the scooter in downtown Naperville? No, it is not at all. It's very easy to park the scooter in downtown Naperville. First of all, there's a few different spots that are reserved for motorcycle parking. And any new watcher out there, I would ride a Suzuki Bergman 400. If you saw it on the street, you'd think it's a motorcycle. It's officially a scooter in that it is automatic and its engine is in a different spot than you're used to seeing on a motorcycle. But it's size of a smaller motorcycle, I guess. But anyway, downtown Naperville is fairly generous with their motorcycle parking. There's at least two that I'm quickly thinking of, dedicated spots for motorcycles. And I think it's a cool solution to the parking issue that is a growing town. And Naperville's a town of about 150,000, about 35 miles west of Chicago. And I don't know, it's a growing town with a jumping downtown that's building parking garages, and the last thing they need is a motorcycle taking up a whole big car spot on a street. And they've realized that one can park, I don't know, probably 10 motorcycles that park correctly in the space it takes to park one car. And they've set aside a few areas for specific motorcycle parking. Another thing I've noticed, because I'm not afraid to push, hello Rick, to push the envelope a little bit, at the beginning and end of a lot of parking spots, there's little areas, little nooks where you can back your bike into and not take up a spot at all, but just kind of be at the end or the beginning of one of the parking areas. And the traffic police seem to be okay with that. Roger says, downtown is all torn up with that, and winter, you're going to need that Mini Cooper. Well, I'm going to need something, Roger. We're going to need something. About a week ago, as I was walking my dog Holly over by my ex-wife's home, and one of the neighbors had a little Mini Cooper parked in their driveway. And it was one of those cool kind of retro, especially retro-looking ones with, I think it had a British flag on the top. And I thought, hey, that looks kind of cool. It looks kind of cool. I might like one of those. I don't know if I really want one. I mean, I think I could pull one off. Part of me wants to pretend I'm macho and manly and get like a truck. A lot of me wants to get an RV, but I struggle with that and go back and forth with that. Part of me, and I think kind of a nice sedan, I think fits who I am at this time. And I had one, and I don't have one now, and I might like one again. They're functional, they're cool, they're classy, they're sporty. And I could see that. Sorry about this. I apologize. Again, I think I'm not sick. I think I'm just had something go down a windpipe right before I hopped on. Roger said he's interested in my 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 thing. Maybe suggest to my son that got divorced and is struggling with child support. All right, I'm twice divorced. I have a lot of expenses. I have 4 beautiful children that I have financial responsibilities for. And I think a lot of people look at, focus on the wrong thing in life and focus on the bills they have to pay or the problems they have or the struggle. And what you focus on expands. And I think by changing my frame of reference, instead of putting the focus on the payments I needed to make, focus on the money I need to make. And that's the way I'm looking at handling my financial responsibilities, and not looking at it as not focusing on the bills that need to be paid or the checks that need to be written, but focusing on the money I get to make and that I can make and that God blessed me with the ability to make. And so rather than argue, because I tell you what, going to court and arguing with an ex-wife about anything, and I assume it goes both ways. I assume the ex-wife feels that about arguing with an ex-husband, and arguing your point in front of court, in front of a judge, just makes everybody look pitiful. And I think it's one of the least pleasant things and one of the most stressful things that I've ever been through. And if you let the courts handle it, they'll divide up the monies and say you owe $727.33 a month to your ex-wife or whatever. I made up that number. And you can argue and say, hey, no, but I pay for little Johnny's baseball classes out of my own pocket, and get the court involved in that and argue with your ex-wife and suck the living out of your body and the life out of your body and the life out of your ex-husband or wife's body. And I kind of, as I'm riding around the other day and I'm working as a waiter and I'm struggling to keep a roof over my head and cover my financial responsibilities. I'm not saying the threat's not real, but if I'm focusing all my energies on arguing with an ex-wife or my financial or the bills I got to pay or the struggles I have, my struggles will grow, my arguments with ex-wives will grow, and I won't be living the best version of me. So, my solution with that, instead of worrying about the payments, just kind of embrace them. And just for math's sake, let's say I earn $3,000 a month, because that'll make the math real easy. In my mind, and let's say that's after taxes, in my mind, I need to allocate those funds to 3 different spots. One to ex-wife number 1 and my 2 beautiful children that she's taking care of. One to ex-wife number 2 and the 2 beautiful children she's taking care of. And then one for me to cover my own bills. And granted, $1,000 is not going to cover my own bills, and maybe it won't cover my ex-wife's bills and the bills she's paying for the kids. So rather than take my ex-wives back to court and argue and look pitiful and have the judge go, wow, I hear this lame story every day. He said, she said. Everybody pointing fingers at the other one. And believe me, I've done it. I know it happens. I've been embarrassed. I said, yes, it's a pitiful situation, Your Honor, and with some embarrassment. But rather than fight or argue, I'm trying to change my own perspective and go, okay, well, let's just roughly allocate a third for each party. And if $1,000 a month isn't enough for me to pay my bills, and obviously it won't be, I need to earn more. And how am I going to do that? And there's various ways I'm going to do it. I could pick up shifts at the restaurant. I could get a higher paying job. I could donate plasma. I could build Coffee with Ken into something that's significant and proud and revenue generating. And so rather than focus my mental energy on the fight, the courts, the expenses, the costs, I'm trying to put my focus on where it should be and where it can be, at least in my situation, on really kicking ass and really generating a lot of revenue and really living the life I dream of and I know I can accomplish by focusing on positive, proactive, good things and good habits and good activities. And it's not all about the money, because it's not all about the money. But I know when I go to the gym and work out, it's a plus in my asset column for me for the day and my activities. And it's going to trickle down into every other aspect of life, including revenue generating aspects. So if I go to the gym and get a quick workout in, that's a win. If I go to work and work hard and have a great attitude at work, that's a win. If I do an awesome Coffee with Ken video and post it all over, that's a win. If I donate plasma because I can do it and, I don't know, maybe save a life and generate $100 in revenue in a week, that's a win. There's just a lot of opportunities out there to do good things. And again, it's not just about generating revenue. It's about throwing good out to the world. If I tip a barista at Starbucks $2, that's a win, because I think it creates a little karma and a little, you get back what you give. And if I pick up garbage on the street, that's a win. If I go to church on this Sunday morning, that's a win. If I go take my kids to the park today, that's a win. If I have a great attitude, get some rest, eat healthy, those are all wins. And I'm trying to focus my life and the direction I'm going on, accumulating as many wins as I can and accomplishing as much as I can. Because I know when I was sitting at home smoking pot and drinking alcohol every morning, noon, and night 5 years ago, and I mean, I'm exaggerating that a little bit, but only a little bit, I wasn't accomplishing all I could. And I wasn't doing all I could. And I knew I could do more. And because of that, Coffee with Ken was born. And I wanted to see what I could do with myself, with my life, and, for the world. And I'm not trying to say I'm going to change the world or make the world. I mean, I guess I am. I am going to change the world and make the world a better place. And maybe not globally, but maybe in my little world, I can make a difference. And I think you can make a difference as well. And living your best life is the best way to improve the world. Because you're going to impact those you love and the people closest to you, and hopefully be a positive influence on them. And hopefully they'll go on and do it as well. But I think, again, it starts from within and focusing on ourselves and doing our best. So that's my thought about that. That's my long-winded answer. I think focus on what we can do and not the problems we have. And for me, what I can do is kick ass, make a lot of money, work really hard, work at a good restaurant. If that's not enough, get a second job or a better paying job, or do great with Coffee with Ken. And so that's what I'm trying to focus on. A lot of people, and I had somebody worry the other day because I posted a video about, somebody asked a week or two ago if I've ever been broke, and I laughed and I go, well, I'm broke right now. And I posted that video and a lot of people watched, and somebody goes, well, do you worry about retirement? And I'll tell you what, I worry about everything. I worry about my sore ankle. I worry that my coffee's not hot enough right now. I worry that I have a cough on this show, or that my nose is a little runny, or that I didn't get enough sleep. I worry about everything, but focusing, and again, what Coffee with Ken is learning to put that worry on the way back burner and focusing on the blessings we have, and the fact that I have coffee, and that I have a roof over my head, and that my ankle is healing, and that I'm going in the right direction. Michael said, I'm a real estate agent, and it's interesting to hear someone talk about when they were in the past. I get in a lot of trouble, Michael, when I talk about real estate. He also says black coffee is the best. I don't know. I mean, I'm drinking black coffee right now. Let's have a swig. I know when I used to drink alcohol, we would joke and call it alcohol abuse, was when you wouldn't finish off the beer in your bottle or what have you. But I have about this much coffee left in here, and it is not hot like I'd like it. And I think I deserve some more coffee. And I shouldn't have to chug, and it wouldn't be a real chore chugging this kind of tepid finish at end of the cup pumpkin spice. But I think we all know that I deserve better and you deserve better. And if we can make ourselves 5% better or 5% more comfortable or 1% better, let's do it. So I'm going to go back to my little kitchenette, pour out this coffee, I might even take a little break and blow my nose. So I'm going to be back within 10 seconds, maybe, but don't go anywhere. Hang with me. Hang with me. Hang with me. Hang with me. Pouring out my coffee. Getting some new coffee. Coming back. How long was I gone for? How long? Oh, you guys are discussing what you put in your coffee. Well, I'm drinking my coffee black, but when I'm on the road at Starbucks or at a diner or something, I usually put cream in it just because. Let me tell you, I started working at a new restaurant this week, and it is a cool restaurant. So cool. I was sitting there last night. It was Saturday night. It was kind of a slow Saturday night, although this was my first Saturday night working there. But what I would imagine was a slow Saturday night. The windows were open. The lights were dim. The music was pumping. There were almost people kind of dancing. I mean, they weren't dancing, but they were kind of bobbing and weaving. And I was kind of bobbing and weaving and feeling the music and feeling the work and feeling the atmosphere and almost feeling, because we serve really nice cocktails there and people come to the bar and enjoy it and get a little buzzed and loosen up. And even me, sober as whatever, was loosening up and feeling the vibe and feeling good and feeling happy about being there. Because it's a cool place with cool food that people are excited to eat at. And should be excited because it's really cool. And I think that's the best way to describe it, is cool. You know, it's not the fanciest restaurant I've ever been in, but it's got the coolest vibe of any restaurant I've ever been in. And it's nice to be a part of that. And last night at like 9:30, I was still training and still am training. Today's my last day of training. I'm supposed to study the menu. Got to study the menu. Then my boss said we're going to do a role play where I wait on her. And I go, I'm going to be horrible at that. She intimidates me a little bit. She's a powerful, impressive young lady with a big smile and big eyes. And I'm not very good at being fake. And if I'm role playing, I struggle. If I'm just me, I do real well. So anyway, we're going to do that tonight. But I was there at 9:30 finishing up my training shift, and she goes, yeah, go home. I was kind of thinking, I don't really want to go home. I'm in this cool place. I'm hanging out. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. It's 9:30 on a Saturday night. There's a great vibe here. There's music going on. The lights are dim. There's fresh air blowing in through the windows. I'm just going to hang out here and really make sure the tables are taken care of. Michael said, what is the best tip to stop drinking alcohol? That's a great question. I think you really got to want to stop drinking alcohol. I think you just got to really want it. I think most people that struggle with addictions don't really want to stop. Don't really want to stop. They go, hey, kind of want to stop. but it's noon today and there's a football game on, and here I am with a beer again. Well, I got news for you. And when I say news for you, I'm talking to myself 10 years ago. I kind of wanted to stop drinking, and I knew it wasn't good for me, and I knew it wasn't helping my life or improving my life in any way by drinking every day. And one day, about 3 years ago now, I said, hey, let's try tomorrow without drinking. See what happens. And 3 years later, I still haven't, and really barely miss it. I barely miss it. My life is so much obviously better without drinking, and I'm more optimistic, and I'm harder working and more reliable and more loving. And I'm far from perfect. I'm far from perfect. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect at all, but I know I'm better. And I think if you look in your soul and look in your heart, and you are an everyday drinker, you probably already know there's a problem. And it's going to be there whether you face it or not. So at some point, you're going to have to go, hey, I might not be medically an alcoholic, or I might not have a DUI or an arrest record for my drinking, but I know it's not helping me. And you're going to want to stop. So once you want to stop, I think everything else falls into place. Believe me, I'm at a cool restaurant with delicious drinks, and they want me to taste them, and I just know I'm better without them. I'm better without them, and my life's better without them. Without drinking or smoking pot, I promise you. And yours would be too. But you got to make that decision on your own. So when you are ready to quit, I think the rest will fall into place. Michael said, it's a habit more than anything, right? For me it was, and I get yelled at, and maybe I don't understand what true addiction is. But true addiction to me is a really, really bad habit. And for me, it was a really, really bad habit. And I stopped smoking and drinking 3 years ago. And I was an everyday user of both. And have had no physical, maybe I'm fortunate, and maybe it's really a medical condition. But I'm not totally sure I believe it. I'm not totally sure I believe it at all. Yeah. Was there a tipping point or event that moved me to quit? Said PBS Stats. Well, yeah. I was feeling really down. And I'd gotten in the umpteenth fight with my second ex-wife, and was staying at a buddy's one-bedroom apartment in his living room on an air mattress on like the fourth floor. And it was a one-bedroom apartment, and the bathroom was... I had to go into his bedroom to go to pee during the night and try and be quiet and go to the washroom, and then come back out and not try and wake him and lay on his air mattress. And I'd had 7 beers that night before, and I was in a really dark, I was feeling the darkest of dark thoughts. And whatever you're thinking, yeah. And I said, maybe I'll try tomorrow without drinking. And I will tell you what, the next day was a hellish day. It was a hellish day, and it wasn't because of the drinking. It was residual stuff to dealing with my ex-wife, and it was a dramatic day, and a day with craziness, things going on, and police involved, and stupid stuff, but just so much drama that would have been easy to go, hey, I got to wash down all this drama with some alcohol or some beer tonight. But I go, maybe I'm going to try again tomorrow and not drink again tomorrow. And again, 3 years later, I still haven't drank. Henry wants to know what were most of my fights about with my ex-wives. Nothing significant. Little life. I think it's hard to live with somebody else, and maybe I'm not good at it, or maybe they weren't good at it, or maybe it wasn't a right match, or whatever. But just daily life, little habits, little things. Who we were as people would butt heads, but nothing specific. It wasn't over anything specific, or the drinking, or the money, or the this or the that. It was just personality issues. Oh, I made a big deal about going to get more coffee, more coffee. And I forgot to keep drinking it because I started preaching. Somebody on there was asking about real estate earlier. Are they still there? Is my realtor friend still out there watching? Somebody said it's interesting hearing how somebody left the real estate business. It's hard leaving the real estate business. Occasionally you get super huge checks and you go, hey, that was really easy. I came across somebody that really wanted to move into Naperville and buy $1 million house. And all of a sudden I get paid $25,000 for it. And it was one of the most fun, easiest things I've ever done. I showed them 6 houses that were all beautiful and all were smelled nice and all were air conditioned. And I went to a home inspection and I sent in the offer and I went to the closing, and suddenly they're handing me a check for $25,000. Wow, that was awesome. That was the coolest thing ever. And it's hard to wean yourself from that because it happens, and it might happen. I don't know, for me, and I'm making up the numbers, but maybe 6 times a year that would happen. But the rest of the time, I felt like I was just spinning my wheels, trying to find that next buyer or seller of a home, and for that relatively easy money. And realtors, I'm not saying they don't work hard, but they don't have to work that hard with the client. What they work hard doing is finding more clients. And that is the truth. And that's what they don't even understand. And I came to realize that 95% of my effort was finding more clients. And only 5% of it was spent working with clients and helping them find a house or helping them sell a house or getting their home ready or whatever. Talking about schools or talking about life and painting the picture of Naperville and what a great place it is to raise a family. And I did not want a career where 95% of the work I was doing was generating new business. I didn't find that was a good use of my time. So now, my business is different, and I wait tables. But I don't spend any of my time generating. You can also get paid nothing. Michael Elliott says, it's hard. People don't understand real estate. Yes, you get paid well, but you can also get paid nothing. Yeah, Michael. I'll tell you what, I probably averaged over my career in real estate, making about $70,000, roughly. Roughly. I'm probably making that waiting tables last night. Or not last night. I'm probably making roughly that waiting tables. But I know I'm going to go in and work hard and have a good attitude and have customers and make people smile and make people laugh and feel productive every day. And as a realtor, I didn't get those feelings. I felt like, okay, what am I going to do today? How am I going to get more business? I'll go knock on doors. I'll go send out flyers. I'll create some new marketing thing. I'll host an open house. And I would not see the fruits of my labor every once in a while. And I tried. Every once in a while, your labor would generate some noteworthy business. And But there was no rhyme or reason. If I knocked on doors 10 days in a row, I might get nothing, and I might get 3 good leads that generated $25,000 in commission. But I didn't like that feeling. I like to mow my lawn and see my yard be beautiful, or do my dishes and see my beautiful kitchen, or I like to see the fruits of my labor, and I did not consistently see the fruits of my labor as a realtor at all. So, and that drives me. Again, I'm going to go in tonight. I'm not going to make $25,000 waiting tables, but I know I'm going to have a good attitude. I'm going to make some of my fellow employees laugh. I'm going to hopefully learn a little bit. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to make a good amount of money, and I'm going to come home and I'm going to leave all that stuff, leave all the stress behind. I'm not going to worry about how's the home inspection going to go, or darn it, am I going to get a closing this month because I got bills to pay? And I just didn't. I think I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in the power of me and the ability to tap into unlimited earning potential. But I just did not see the time I spent as a realtor very productive time at all. And because I say that, I get in a lot of trouble from other realtors because they're trying to defend their business. And I got news for all the other realtors that may be watching. If you feel you have to defend your business and your existence, there might be an issue to it. And there might be an issue to it. Yeah. You don't hear firemen rationalizing their job, at all. But I felt as a realtor, you had to say, hey, we work hard for the money. We're worth every penny. I'm not saying they don't work hard, because I know I worked hard. I am saying the work you do is not helping clients buy and sell homes. The work you do is finding new clients. And were there important people, friends, that had an impact through challenging times beyond my faith? Certainly, I'm blessed with a lot of friends and family that care and love about me a whole lot. And I am fortunate for that. But I've also learned that even those that love you and are trying their best don't walk in your shoes and don't know. A lot of times I felt if I had an issue, I needed a shoulder to cry on, maybe than a solution or an answer or even a suggestion. There's a couple times along the way, I remember, and I brought it up before, I was at breakfast with my dad during my first divorce 12 years ago or whatever. And I was saying, Dad, I don't know what to do. And my dad is a man of very few words, but he said, well, you keep going. So I've kept going, and that stuck with me. And I'll tell you what, I wake up every morning, and a lot of times my mind will be in a negative spot, and I'll worry about my day, and I'll worry about bills to pay, and I'll worry about, I don't know, whether I'm going to suck as a waiter or be a good dad or grow coffee with Ken or get everything I need to accomplish for that day. And I'll say a little prayer and I'll ask God for wisdom, and I'll often hear the same advice. Keep going. And I'll lay there and I'll chuckle and I'll go, come on, God, I'm looking for specifics. I'm looking for the answer. And God will laugh at me and say, keep going. And I'll go, okay, what does that mean to me? That means thinking of 5 things I'm grateful for. That means I am telling you, break it down to the smallest things. I'm going to lift the covers off my body right now. That is what your next step will be. A lot of people are trying to solve the answer and plan for retirement and save for kids' college. And as a human that struggled with anxiety, and that when I always am focused on this massive, huge problem, big picture, the problem just gets bigger and the college expenses just get bigger and the retirement savings don't grow. It just gets more expensive. So sometimes you got to break it down. I know I did, to the smallest step. And for me, it's laying in bed going, okay, think of 5 things I'm grateful for. I'm thankful for the pillow under my head. I'm thankful for the roof over my head. I'm thankful for the sunshine. I'm thankful for Aaron, Morgie, Augie, and Eve, and their 2 moms that are loving on them right now. And then I go, okay, that's 5 things I'm grateful for. And then I go, what do I do now? And I go, literally, I'll go, pull the covers off my body. Stand up, get out of bed, do a couple stretches, make my bed, get the coffee started, go to the bathroom, heat up coffee, turn on live video, sit down in front of you. It's that simple. And I'm not saying it's easy, because sometimes it feels hard to get out of bed. But if you break it down to the smallest next step, I think life has a tendency to work out. And if you keep going, and if you make the coffee, and if you drink the coffee, and you eat an apple, an orange, and a banana in the morning, and if I make it to the 9 o'clock service today at church, and if I enjoy the church, and I shake Gary's with 2 R's hands, and I get over to my ex-wife's house and love on my kids and take them to the park, and if I go to Starbucks and edit a few videos, and if I come home and get some rest before tonight's shift and do a little studying of the menu and get into work on time and bring a great attitude and do my best with my boss and do my best with the employees and do my best with my customers, and get home and lay in bed and drift off to sleep and do it again tomorrow, life has a way of working out. But I think so often we focus on the big picture and the problems we have and the fights with our wife and our bills to pay and our sore ankles and our drinking problem and what have you. And if you stop focusing on the problem and focus on the next thing you have to do, again, life has a way of working out. And break it down to the smallest thing. You know, I'm sitting in this chair. You know, yes, if I worried about an issue I may or may not have with an ex-wife or a bill I need to pay, and I sit and fret and go, oh crap, you know, I don't know. Or if you just bring it back to the smallest next step and go, my cup of coffee is low, I will go get more. There is hunger in my tummy, I will get an apple from the refrigerator. I need to shower before I go to church, I'm going to turn the water on in the shower. And if you can break it down to that smallest next step, I promise you the anxiety you are fighting with, if you struggle with anxiety, and I do, will fade. And you're going to be amazed at how much you can accomplish. And I just turned 56 years old, and I'm in fantastic shape. I go to the gym 3 times a week. I have a content creation business that I'm proud of that makes a difference called Coffee with Ken that grows every day. I have a job as a waiter, and yes, I have a finance degree, and yes, I've made more money in my life, but it's a job at a restaurant I'm proud of, and honestly didn't even want to leave last night when the boss told me I could go home because it was that cool. And I have 4 beautiful kids that I love with all my heart, and I get to see my little nugget of love, Augie, today, and give him a hug and give him a little kiss on the mouth. It's the sweetest thing. And if my little daughter Eve is fussing and having a hard day, I get to hold her, and she gets to scream, and I get to hold her anyway, and get to love on her. And I'm going to have an awesome day. And the way I'm going to do it, and the way I have done it, is taking one step at a time. And as RJ likes to say, mile by mile. Because I rode my scooter across the country 3 months ago and then back a couple weeks ago. And there were times I was terrified. I even crashed my bike on the ride home and still have a bad ankle from it. But rather than fret and focus on all the trouble you can have, because I had a million people reaching out wanting to talk about the risks and the dangers and the challenges and the worry that they had about me doing it. And if you focus on the worry, you're going to find more things to worry about. But if you focus on that next step, and the smallest little step, I don't know, life works out. But anyway, hello, Rich Sternicle. Rich Sternicle's tuning in from Germany. I've got a friend from grade school that tuned in from Germany. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons a lot as a kid. I went to Rich Sternicle's house as a kid in like 7th grade and played my very first game of Dungeons and Dragons. And Rich just tuned in from Germany. I don't even know what Rich is doing in Germany. Hopefully he's having a nice time. And hopefully he's enjoying the trip. I don't know who picks the music at the restaurant, but it's nice and it's cool, and you should go to the restaurant, RJ. I don't want you waiting. I don't want to wait on you. I'd rather you go and not wait on me. I don't want to be a distraction. But hello from Nepal. But RJ, you should go. You'd enjoy it. You can go when I'm working there, but I'll usually be doing my own thing. I think you'd really enjoy the restaurant. You'd really enjoy the atmosphere. And for anybody that's looking for a really cool dining experience in Naperville, with a nice view, nice music, nice atmosphere, great food, fun service, go to Santos Yellow, sit at the bar, order one of our cool cocktails. And I'm not promoting drinking, but we have some cool looking cocktails. I tell you what, the sangria looks pretty darn delicious. The gin and tonic they serve comes in this huge, I don't know what it's called, goblet almost. Looks pretty nice. So I think you'd have a great time. One more sip of coffee. Talk too long today. Try to keep it under an hour. Sometimes I get long-winded. Sometimes I get on my high horse. I'm going to make it to the 9 o'clock service today, and I am excited about that. The weather has been beautiful. And but between now and then, I'm going to eat 3 pieces of fruit. I'm going to shower. I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to FaceTime with my little babies. I'm going to arrange a time to stop by my ex's house so I can take them for a walk to the park. And I'm excited about my day. I'm going to drink a lot of coffee, whatever flavor coffee I want. But I'm looking forward to my Sunday, and I hope you're looking forward to your Sunday as well. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I want to thank you so much for joining today. Hope you're focusing on what you can do in that next step, and gratitude and faith and prayer, and believing things happen for a reason, because I believe it. And if you keep your mind on the ball, and the ball is that next step, that next thing you got to do, even as little as uncrossing my legs, I'm telling you, think that small. If you have to, it'll help. And I appreciate you guys for joining. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you're loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.